Hey everyone, how you doing today? Well, today I wanted to talk about the status in regards to the United States of America. Um, this coronavirus is really showing some of the downfalls that we have in this particular country when it comes to toilet paper, when it comes to ventilators, when it comes to food supply. Now we're having problems with the food supply, with the meat. And, people are so worried about the restaurants, and I don't know why we're worried about restaurants. Doesn't anybody have to cook anymore? I mean, please. Is this the most important thing, is to get your food either dropped off in front of your house or you go pick it up? I mean, is this the a need for everyone, and they can't cook their food anymore? I personally cook my food 90% of the time, maybe more. So, and I like to cook because I control what I eat, and I think that's important. I worked in restaurants, and I see what they do, and it's a form of Russian roulette. And you hear it first if you haven't heard it before. It's a form of Russian roulette. Not to say buying food at the supermarket isn't Russian roulette, because who knows what they're doing before I get it. However, if I'm a little bit more upstream, I think that's actually a better way to be. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I really wanted to talk about today is the vulnerability that we have in the United States, and it has a lot to do with the fact that we're just not as intelligent as we used to be, and we don't have the energy like we used to be. I'm in my 50s now, and probably one of the only things that's good in regards to being in my 50s is that I can compare decades. I can compare a lot of the decades because I lived so much. And I remember when I was a kid, things were a lot more different with less the people, almost half the people. But I'm telling you right now, I would take those half of people than these twice as much people. It's really quite a bit of difference, and it's just not a rounding error. It's a tremendous amount of difference. More intelligent, more moral, more diligent, a sense of excellence. And I was just talking to my wife, and I say, looking at people and getting to know people, there's really no sense of excellence anymore. It's just get the job done, and that's it. And it's really a shame, because years ago, people strive for excellence. And also, there was a sense of that you can do it on your own. I mean, if there was a handout to be given, people would refuse that handout. Now it's totally different. Now we're applying, we're sweating, we're waiting on lines, for filling out forms for the hope to get a handout. And then when you get this handout, you throw a party, And before, there was shame. Completely 180-degree difference. And it just shows the morals and the values, along with the obesity, along with the manipulation. It's just changed so much for the worse that it's incredible. It really is incredible. And, it's happening slowly, over time. The people who die are in general, better people than the ones that are getting born. I don't like saying it, but it is what it is. So I look at a situation where right now the U.S. dollar is what they call king dollar, the petrodollar. It's the dollar that's denominated in all countries. If they want to trade oil, buy oil, they have to switch their money over to the dollar. So the dollar is the world currency. It's king dollar. And I remember I used to play a game when I was a kid. It used to be called King of the Mountain. And basically it was there was a person on top of a hill, and you would climb up the hill and you'd try to knock off the king. And if you knocked the person off, then you were the king of the mountain. And I found out once I was king that the only place I can go is down. I can't get any higher. The king is at the top. And that's where our dollar is. That's where the U.S. dollar is. It's at the king. It's the king. It's right on the top of the mountain. And the only place it can go from here is down. And the way this country has been slowly but surely eating itself away with people that are not excellent, not striving to be excellent, the obesity, the lack of energy, and all this corruption that has basically ruined our abilities, eventually, and it's probably coming sooner than later, King Dollar is going to topple. And I'm telling you, once King Dollar was an achievement that was done back in the early 70s with Nixon. And that's 50 years old. We are relying on an achievement that's 50 years old. That eventually is going to wear out. You know, there are a lot of countries now that are trying to bypass that dollar, the king dollar, because they know the value of it and they don't like playing that game. Eventually, that game is going to end, and where this country, United States of America, is going to lose its dollar status, its world currency status. And once that happens, it's going to be it'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back. There will be it's like Humpty Dumpty that fell. And there'll be no way that we could put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Once the king dollar, the world currency of the United States of America, top dollar, goes down, there'll be no way that it'll come back. Not one chance. First of all, we don't have the capacity to mend it. And we like I said, we are a nation of heavy people, or heavy-set people. Morally, we're just kind of lazy. We don't choose to be excellent, do things with excellence. So how are we going to get the king dollar back again? It's impossible. And I don't know how many people are living in this country with my wife. She's got with a green card, right? Even though the card's not green anymore. How many people in this country are resident aliens and illegal aliens? And those people, hey, you don't have a U.S. passport, you can get the heck out of this country anytime you want to. There's nothing stopping you. For people who are citizens, well, that's another story. Right? I mean, the government might not let you leave for one reason or another. I mean, they got their thumb on us. So, you know, with a country that has 300 and some odd million people, I would say maybe 85 million people are illegals and resident aliens? I don't know, but it's a good chunk. And most of those people are young. So can you envision a country with 250 million people where about a third of them are 65 and over? I mean, and then on top of that, there's no more king dollar. I mean, the inflation is going to go through the roof because the dollar's not going to have the value anymore as it does. And the fact that we're not inventing anything anymore, and our mental capacity has gone down. I mean, disaster at best. And this is where we're heading to. I mean, it's like, the iceberg is right there, and the captain who's sailing the ship is having an ice cream cone. So this is what I see. It's probably worse than I'm even mentioning. Who knows what's going on with this coronavirus and other plagues that are coming around. They get the hornets, and in Africa you get the locusts. I mean, you can't rely on the United States of America to come up with solutions. We just don't have the capacity anymore. We just don't have it. It's not there. The schools are not teaching the kids anything. And even the mental abilities of these kids are not like what they used to be when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I mean, there were smart people out there. Smart people. I'm a CPA, and I mean, I graduated in the middle of my class, and it was a public school. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, take the temperature, see what it looks like. It doesn't look good. We got 101 fever, and it's only going to go up. So, I wish I had better news. Hey, talk about this. Mention this to other people. Warn them. We can turn it around if we put the effort into it and do things right and choose to do things with excellence as opposed to just getting it done and then watching TV. Uh, you know, even obese people get thin. So there is a ray of hope, but we have to get on it, because if we don't get on it, it will be on top of us, and then there'll be consequences, really dire consequences. The United States will be relatively like a third world country. So I hope you learn something about this video. Share it, like it, and please subscribe. Well, thank you very much, and have a good day.